What is up, guys? A very good and happy sunny day here from Amsterdam. A very good New York session wish to you all. Let me know in the chat if the audio is good, if you can hear me loud and clear. And we're gonna get started in a few seconds or a few minutes. We're gonna give everybody time to tune in. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me know where you're tuning in from today. Super curious to hear where everybody's from. And how everybody's day/week has been so far. How's everything going for everyone? Hope everybody's doing good, everybody's healthy, and yeah, assalamu alaikum. I hope you are doing good, brother. Tuning in from Haarlem, all the way in the Netherlands. Max, good to see you as always. Hi from India. Hey, good to see you guys all again. Luke, hope you're doing good as always, man. Fantastic. Okay, guys, let me know if the background music is good. Let me know if the audio is good as well. Just want to make sure everything is working. And then we're going to kick it off as always. So we have Ghana, Indonesia, Malaysia. We have a lot of countries today. Can you shades off your background? Not sure what you mean with that. Good luck for next year in the Champions League. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, guys, was not a good evening last night. Arsenal obviously lost. Was not good. Arsenal out of the Champions League. Sadly, not going to the final. It's going to be a very boring Champions League final, to be very honest. Inter Milan against PSG. Not even going to watch it, probably. Don't think I'm going to be watching that. Okay, guys, fantastic. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in as always. We're going to dive into the market, see what is going on this morning/early afternoon. We're going to dive into EURUSD. Obviously, as always, for euro dollar, not much has changed. Still looking for that further downside push. I'll give you guys a clean chart to see and turn off the indicator. So overall, obviously, EURUSD has been consolidating overall. Looking here on the monthly time frame, we can very clearly see that euro dollar pushed in towards this overall imbalance candle over here. So this here is your area of supply. We can very clearly see that we have kind of like a little bump in the road, which I consider liquidity right underneath it. We take out that liquidity high, and then as soon as we tap into that imbalance candle, we pretty much start seeing the retracement down. Now, obviously, after such a strong leg up, a retracement down lower would not be strange, especially due to the fact that the overall push up on EURUSD has been tied to kind of like the fundamentals, right? So when we look at this overall push on euro dollar, it's tied to pretty much let's say two major fundamentals. Number one is definitely like the USD uncertainty / tariffs. So we can say USD uncertainty, and we can just actually call that one. So we have, and sorry for my handwriting, guys, but we have the USD uncertainty. Then number two, we have the US tariffs. And then number three is obviously the euro, and then more specifically German investments of $500 billion. I think it's $500 billion. So these three things have caused EURUSD to push up higher, right? So now when these three things are kind of like over, this could cause EURUSD to push back down lower, because this entire pushback up is kind of like all thanks to these three things. So now what I'm looking at is one, USD uncertainty. Well, this is kind of starting to go away. Reason being is that US dollar is starting to make tariff deals. Also for number two, kind of like comes back down to that. Today there's going to be a US trade deal announced between the United States and the United Kingdom, and this should diminish the risk of point number one and point number two. Now, point number three, if you're inside Discord, you should have seen my update on it. But point number three is also pretty much being diminished now, as there's a lot of uncertainty about the position and about the strength of the current chancellor or chancellor-elect in Germany. So the leader of the largest party there, Merz, I think his correct name is Friedrich Merz. he is now in an uncertain position where he didn't actually get enough votes to be directly voted as chancellor, and this has also caused some pressure on the euro overall. So therefore, looking for euro USD from a fundamental perspective to rebound down lower. Also in the euro region, they're looking to cut interest rates even more, and obviously in the dollar region yesterday they kept interest rates at the same level. Now higher interest rates are generally speaking good for a currency, and therefore the dollar should appreciate in value and euro USD should push down lower. Now therefore we look for potential short positions. Now looking here at euro USD, obviously number one, we still have liquidity resting underneath the lows. This low over here is still open. Even though this low is very, very close, it should cause some downside pressure here on the euro against the dollar. And furthermore, we have this sell before the buy demand zone, which is still completely open as well. Therefore, in the short term, I'm looking for euro USD to depreciate and to push down lower with around another 140 pips or so, and see euro USD push down in towards that green box in the near future. Now, an additional confluence for that is obviously the overall demand or the overall supply flow, where we have supply in control. If you guys know how we read market structure, we can very clearly see a push up, a retracement down, a push up, and then what we see here is the fractal low broken. Therefore, that becomes your area of supply. Number one, we'll make that zone red. And then we have another area of supply again over here on the buy before the sell once again, and once again that is pushing the market down lower. So the entire week I've been talking about, okay, as long as the current fractal high is respected, we should push down lower. As we can see, current fractal high gets respected and the market keeps pushing down lower. So for euro dollar, I am looking for that next push down in towards that green zone for another 140 pip dump in towards the downside. So looking for that to take place very, very soon. As of today, what we can see here is that the overall order flow is in a bearish trend. Again, buy before the sell here. Again, buy before the sell here. And looking for euro USD to sell off in towards the New York session. Yeah, I would be looking for further shorts. Looking now here at euro USD. Again, a very nice liquidity grab above the highs, kind of like reacting to this supply zone. Initial reaction here got liquidated, and now with this wick up, with this low break, I'm looking for this euro dollar to sell off and start selling down lower in towards obviously what is eventually going to be, I don't know if it's showing, what is eventually going to be the overall green zone here. So yeah, looking for that for the downside from euro dollar. This is what I'm anticipating on. So let's see that happen. Guys, don't forget to leave a like on the stream, please. Can everybody leave a like on the stream? Always appreciate it. And in the meantime, yeah, looking for that euro USD for the downside. Going into GBP USD next, what can we see there? Well, we saw a massive impulse in towards the highs. Now, the main reason for this overall impulse on GBP USD was because we just had the interest rate decisions in the United Kingdom. If we quickly go into the calendar, what we can see here is that the Bank of England, the people on the committee, they voted for the official bank rate to again be reduced to 4.25% from 4.5%. So what does it mean when interest rates are, let's say put down? It is pretty much imposed to boost the economy, because lower interest rates stimulate what? Stimulate borrowing of money, okay? So with those lower interest rates, generally speaking, people assume that a currency becomes weaker, okay? This is very important to understand. When we have lower interest rates, the currency is expected to become weaker. Now, if we go quickly in towards Bloomberg, what I'm going to show you guys here showcases, and I just had a good read on this. Not sure if I'm going to be able to find it again, but it was important to understand. And the main reason was here. So one crucial line that gives them wiggle room said, the committee will remain sensitive to heightened unpredictability in the economic environment and will continue to update its assessment of risks. Well, markets have cut bets on a June cut. The sentence does still leave the door slightly ajar. The most important thing that we need to understand, guys, and what I wanted you to understand, is that yes, they lowered interest rates, making the pound less easy, or guys, I'm reading the chat at the same time, sorry, making the pound less attractive, and therefore money should flow out of the pound. However, that they said is that it's not very likely, or it's less likely, that again the interest rates are going to be dropped, and this is causing for a bullish pound at the moment, or for the pound to rise with kind of like that liquidity sweep of again all of the lows to take place. We can pretty much see that the low kind of like came underneath all of these lows over here, swiping out all of those stop losses. Sadly, it didn't even come in towards this low over here, so this low is still open, and there's still potential for it to drop down lower. I'm still in a GBP USD short, so let's just see how at the end of today it will close. Obviously, it's kind of consolidating at the moment, and we'll need to see what the real direction will be for GU. Currently not really looking at it. GJ, guys, GJ obviously been pumping, still looking good for that further upside. GJ very similar to GU. As you guys know, we've been in bullish order flow here, and especially the fractal structure on the daily time frame is bullish. So we have got this green zone. A lot of you also were mentioning to me, Fabio, we have this area of supply. Yes, we have this area of supply, correct. However, the overall immediate fractal structure is bullish, and therefore you're always pretty much interested in further longs. So looking at the 4-hour time frame here, again, what do we see? We see a nice liquidity sweep of the low over here. Then here we have the fractal break, the first one, and then from that moment onwards you can pretty much just get into those long positions, and I know a lot of you did, so congratulations if you did. If you are in those long positions, you can keep holding it, at least obviously in towards a new break of the current fractal high. Looking at USDJPY, USDJPY is another position that we've been talking about for quite some time as well here on the weekly time frame, obviously at a key level of support here, right? This is a strong level of support, so obviously we assume that we're going to be looking for a bounce up higher. I then go into the daily time frame. How do we recognize that that potential bounce is going to come? We look at two things. We look at one, obviously, are we at a key level of like support, liquidity, or demand? And number two, we look at the fractal structure. So we see the push down, pull back, push down, boom, push up. Here there was some manipulation, but then eventually we form a very clear area of demand here on the sell before the buy up. We tap in towards there and we start pushing up higher. Now, I mentioned here on Tuesday when the market was actually trading here in the last live stream, because again, guys, we do a live stream every Tuesday and on Thursday, that we were looking for those longs. So congratulations if you got in maybe a little bit more aggressively at the lows over here, because this was where we were pretty much trading at the time on Tuesday afternoon. And since then, we've actually been rallying in towards the highs. Now, the confirmation for further longs on UJ obviously came after the 4-hour fractal structure shift here, after breaking this black line. So now at any point in time, I'm just going to be looking for that further upside continuation on USDJPY. So yeah, still looking at further longs on that. Additional longs as well are being looked for on USD CHF for myself. A very, very rangy pair, but also fractal bullish here on the 4-hour. And what has happened is that we've actually swept all of the liquidity underneath these lows over here. I also mentioned this, I think, on Tuesday. So yeah, a very nice liquidity sweep, and now a 4-hour fractal structure shift. So for myself, this should push the market up higher now on USD CHF. Okay, guys, we only have 112 likes. Come on, man. Leave some more likes on the stream. Okay, Kirubo, Temsigan, we'll look at gold for you, but if you spam it again, I'm just going to ban you from the stream. So no need to spam, guys, in the chat. Really annoys everyone, pretty much. For gold, I mentioned that we took out the liquidity of pretty much this entire range. So we can very clearly see here that we were consolidating for a long time. So this is pretty much your accumulation range. Okay, so this is your accumulation range over here. So the market tends to accumulate. Then what happens is that we have the manipulation phase over here. So this is where the market manipulates. It fakes out in towards the downside, and then from there it reverses back in towards the highs, which is also known as your your distribution phase. So we have the accumulation, the manipulation, and then the distribution back in towards the highs. And this happens on like this big scale. Ahmed 77, so sad, bro. You are banned from the chat. Bloody hell, man. I just said don't spam the chat, and what do? You spam the chat. Sorry, guys. Let's all say rest in peace, Ahmed 77. RIP for Ahmed. Let me just type it myself. RIP Ahmed 77. Bye bye, Ahmed. Looking here at gold now, we've seen it on the lower time frame as well. So again, a very, very picture perfect example of accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. We can see here that we had the accumulation phase right over here. Then what happened is that we manipulated on the accumulation high. So we have the accumulation phase. Then what happens here is that we have the manipulation in towards the highs. A lot of breakout traders taking the buys. And then what do we have again? We have the overall distribution in towards the downside over here. So this is your distribution phase. Now this distribution phase takes pretty much the time to or takes kind of like its momentum in towards the liquidity lows. So what I was looking at on gold, to be very honest here on the 15, it kind of becomes a little bit more clear. So you have two kind of like areas of interest. So this low and this low for gold. So these two lows were kind of like the lows I was monitoring. Now, obviously, after a very heavily overextended move, what to expect? We expect somewhat of a rebound. Now, what I'm looking at here on gold is for it to pretty much manipulate the low again, and then I'll be looking for the change of character to take a long position again. That's kind of like what I'm looking for. Preferably, I would see it also take out this low over here and then start looking for a long again. For myself, it's just not in my plan to take a buy from this region over here. So yeah, I would need to see it take out the lows one more time and then give us the fractal structure shift. But overall, gold has made its move this week. Yeah, congratulations if you were in. I also mentioned this in yesterday's market outlook. If you haven't watched that, make sure to watch it back, where we again have been waiting since pretty much taking out this high over here. This is kind of like your liquidity high. We take out the liquidity high. Then what do you want? You want the 1 hour change of character. Push up, push down, push up, boom, push down. We accumulate here. We build up liquidity, tap into this supply zone, take out the liquidity, and then you just sell off again. So some really good stuff. Wow, guys, we have a super chat from Sarup. Thanks, Fabio. Sorry for yesterday. Donnarumma was just a beast last night. Yeah, indeed, man. Thank you for your message. I really appreciate the donation as always. Also, can you please explain what happened on NZD CHF? It looked so promising. Yeah, we can have a look at NZD CHF. So what we can see on NZD CHF here, guys, is that it is actually still looking pretty promising. It's still within an area of daily demand. At the moment, what is happening is that it's reacting to just a level of support and resistance pretty much over here. And pushing down lower. Now, what I like about NZD CHF here is that it has equal highs. So there's still liquidity being built up above these highs. I would be more concerned if it already took out this high here and then started reversing. But for now, the fractal structure internally is still this low and this high over here. So it still makes sense to look for longs. Obviously, the highest probability longs will come if we sweep this internal low and then look for the long position. But overall, yeah, it still looks good to push up higher. We just saw a lot of weakness from the New Zealand dollar yesterday. And yeah, you can also see it. NZD USD pushed down lower. NZD CHF also pushed down lower. So yeah, that was just the overall issue. But overall, yeah, still interesting to look for some longs on NZD CHF. Now going into some other pairs, GBPUSD just pushed up higher, obviously with the news on those interest rates in the United Kingdom. Overall here for GA, I am pretty much still interested in looking for some further downside. Actually, I still think it's interesting for maybe one more sweep push down. We have so many equal lows still open over here, guys. So much liquidity still resting underneath all of these lows. So I would still be interested for one more sell in towards the downside. So I'll be monitoring this imbalance candle, seeing what this imbalance here does. And if we get any bearish confirmation at all in towards the lows. Now we can see here that we haven't really seen any bearish confirmation at all. What I'm personally now just looking for is for us to pretty much take out the liquidity. So what I would like to see is, for example, this high here get taken on GBPUSD in the near future, and then once we take that out, then I'll be looking for a short position once again. Something like that is what I'm personally looking for. Yes, we also have this supply zone over here, so if this suddenly causes the fractal low to break, then I'll also be interested in shorts. But these are kind of like the two shorts that I'm looking at on GBPUSD. So yeah, those are kind of like the two positions that I have an eye on. Yes, for anybody wondering how to join the Discord, guys, you can join through this link I just shared here in the channel. or in the chat. I've pinned it as well for you guys. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at on GBPUSD. So some shorts still to take out all of those kind of like ascending lows, but it will depend also on what the Bank of England Governor Bailey says tomorrow at 10:40 Central Eastern Time. Now, moving on, we're also going to have a look at some other pairs, which I find pretty interesting. Mainly, those are actually still the risk-on pairs, being, for example, an AUD CHF. I still think an AUD CHF has the potential to push up higher, even though it's moving a little bit choppy at the moment. Also, AUDJPY is still an interesting pair in my opinion. Daily internal still bullish here, with the daily fractal structure still having the potential to push the market up higher. We can see here current fractal low, current fractal high. Demand has been tapped into, so I'm looking for this to push up higher and take out these descending highs here. So some AUDJPY longs for myself. NZD CHF and NZD JPY are pretty much the same, so some NZD CHF longs still on the board, and NZD JPY also still looking for a long here from this demand zone and looking for this to push up higher to take out these descending highs as well. So looking for another long position at least in towards this high on NZD JPY as well. Some people keep on asking me about Euro GBP, but I'm not very interested in it, so please stop spamming the chat about it. Gold we've already discussed. Furthermore, Euro USD, let's see, has it broken? Nah, very ugly still, very ugly still. Waiting for Euro USD. Let's just wait because it's just so stuck here. I should be moving at around 230. What I'll probably do is I'll be a little bit more aggressive with a potential sell entry if we take out this high here. I'll be looking for this, maybe something like this on Euro USD. That for me would be ideal. For anybody asking, guys, I'm gonna be this fractal structure break indicator is not live. It's still in development. But once it is finished, I'll be sharing it with you guys, and it will be announced inside Discord. Stan is asking, are we going to see rate cuts from the Fed this year? Yes, I think they're still anticipating on 3 rate cuts this year, with the next one being, I believe, in June or in July. So yeah, that's that. For Euro, again, looking just for one of these two scenarios to pretty much play out. We'll have a look at GBCAD for you extroverts. GCAD flying. GCAD could still sell off. Obviously, you have kind of like this buy before the sell, but you see there's a lot of bullish momentum at the moment. So what do you want to be doing? You don't want to be wasting your time. This is ugly, man. These are like all descending highs. So yeah, no. No shorts on GCAD, man. I don't see GCAD. Don't like it. Don't like it. Don't like it. Don't like it. Do not like it. Is selling USDJPY legit? No, in my opinion. You're a coconut if you sell USDJPY. Because it is fractal bullish. It's sitting at key level of support. Dollar is at the moment bullish as well. We haven't even looked at the dollar index today, guys. The dollar index is obviously also in bullish order flow. So yeah, you're an absolute coconut if you start selling that. So follow the overall fractals in towards the upside still, I would say. Push up, retracement, push up, retracement. It just makes sense to push up again, guys. So as long as this current fractal low is respected, we should only be looking for those longs. The Discord is pinned here in the chat, guys. Yeah, USD CHF are longs that I'm in as well. USD CHF, but this thing is so slow, man. I've been since the 23rd of bloody April, man. Poo. Somebody needs to bring me some food. I'm getting hungry, man. I need to make some profits on that thing. It's just not moving. USD Swiss, making me tired. AJ Fabio, can I trade your strategy on the 5-minute? Yes, you can. However, I would not really recommend. Ludo, I'm here in sunny Amsterdam, my friend. Come by. Can you check GCAD again? No, sorry, Damilar. Don't like it, man. It has descending highs, so shorts are not on the table, but longs are also not on the table for myself. Silver. What can we see on silver? Silver, man, such an ugly thing at the moment. Remember we talked about this last week at the beginning of May on one of the live streams. I think it was the 1 hour. Yeah, this 1 hour trade, remember. Funny, I haven't looked at it since. This 1 hour was the fractal structure shift here, where we had this overall little downtrend here, and then we got the break up over here, and from there we've started to push up higher. It came a little bit into drawdown. I remember, yeah, here the stop loss, and it's pushed up higher again. At its peak, what was it running at? It was running at around a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. Now sitting back at break even. Yeah, I mean, I'm still favoring some longs on silver overall. It grabbed beautifully the liquidity here on the 4 hour time frame of this overall kind of like ascending trend line here. Grabbed that liquidity, and since it reversed, so yeah, some really clean price action. Now it has become so consolidative, really just stuck, man, inside of this little box here. So for me, this is not really something that I'm looking at too much at the moment, but I'm still favoring it to go long because the daily time frame is still bullish. And for me, it still needs to kind of like take out this fake area of supply as well. So I'd love to see that get taken out. What else? Yeah, Blaze, Euro shorts make sense. Euro shorts make sense, my friend. I am still very interested in those Euro shorts. Sell Euro USD. I'm still in those Euro USD sells. Please tell Fractal Structure Indicator how it works, guys. I'm gonna have to pin a message here in the chat. Indicator not yet ready. What time frame do you recommend to trade on? I trade on the 4 hour mainly, guys. Thank you, Alexis. Love you, man. Euro NZD pullback. Let's have a look at Euro NZD. Fabi, can you make a video about how to read news and apply to the markets? Yeah, of course. Yeah, Euro NZD, not a big fan, to be honest. Obviously, bullish trend for many months already. Push up, push down, push up, push down, push up, push down, push up, push down. So another push up obviously makes sense from a market structure perspective. The thing that I have here is that we are currently situated within demand, right? So we're situated within this sell before the buy here. Now, when you are inside a demand zone, what do you need for a long position? You need a change of character. So we're very near the current fractal high. If that breaks, then most likely you're going to be able to position yourself into some long positions. Let's have a look at the 2 hour, 1 hour. Yeah. The only thing with longs that's kind of like against it is obviously these ascending lows. So that would make sense for it to sell off one more time. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of longing Euro NZD just yet. I would preferably wait for the current fractal high to break and then maybe look for it. Otherwise, some further downside to take out those ascending lows. Still definitely possible. GBP USD sells today. It's the thing is, it just pumped so hard, man. Yes, obviously I would like to see another sell. I'm still in a sell on GU, and it still makes sense, but let it kind of like start to move. But yeah, I'm still interested in a sell on GU. Do you have a video explaining fractal structure? Yes, we do. It's on the channel, guys. You can just look it up, Chalk, and then the Trading Academy. If you look it up on YouTube, you should find it. On what time frame do you look for Chalk? On the time frame that I'm trading on, but you can pretty much just use it on every single time frame, man. What else, guys? What else? Anything else interesting? Germany, USDJPY buys. Yeah, discussed that already. How can you do a perfect fundamental analysis? We're gonna create a video on that. Let's discuss that on Tuesday. How to do fundamental analysis. We'll discuss that on Tuesday, and I'll give you guys kind of like a breakdown how to take trades with the fundamentals. Hobbies. Hansi, good one. GJ already discussed. AUD/USD buys. Let's have a look at AUD/USD. AU not ready, guys. Definitely not. Daily time frame is still bullish fractal wise. So obviously here we have the bullish fractal low. Here we have the weak fractal high. So it makes sense to look for longs from demand, but we need to see the bullish confirmation. So looking now at the 1 hour time frame, you can currently see that the fractal high is here. So you would need that fractal high to break before any potential long positions, guys. So waiting for that to happen before looking for any longs. So we need to see the current fractal high break. And this is what we did see on USDJPY, where, remember, 4 hour time frame, we saw the fractal high get broken. That was kind of like the confirmation to look for longs. How is it possible for AUD CHF to be in a downtrend for years? Our currency pair is not supposed to be relatively balanced. Yeah, but it depends on a lot of things. Obviously, looking at the weekly time frame, you can see indeed it's been pretty much in a downtrend since 2021. But you need to understand pretty much the relationship between the economy of Switzerland and Australia, and what people do with their money and with the money flows. Obviously, the Swiss franc has always been relatively strong against all currencies, especially in the last 3 to 4 years. Any other specific questions, guys? Not just gold. Any other specific questions? NZDJPY looking for longs. AUD CAD, ugly pair in my opinion. Not a pair that I'm very interested in. Yeah, not a pair that I'm interested in. I mean, it's in a strong supply zone. This here I classify as a strong supply zone. Reason being is because the supply zone itself, so the imbalance candle itself, liquidated these highs before causing that massive sell-off. Therefore, I wouldn't be looking for buys. Maybe like a short-term short could play out. Also, for our fractal structure is bearish. Maybe look for kind of like another sweep. 4 hour. I mean, maybe look for kind of like a sweep of this high here, and then look for the sells on the 15-minute time frame. Which indicator do you use? It's a private indicator called the fractal structure break indicator. When is your next tour and where to? I'm going to be in Barcelona, guys, in around 10 days. So if you're in Barcelona or in Spain, let me know, and maybe we can meet up. Is there anybody in Barcelona who's watching the stream, guys? Let me know. Let's see. NAS 100. Yeah, NAS is bullish. Looking for more buys, guys. Looking for more buys. Crypto also looking good. Has anybody seen? BTC, USDT. Bitcoin gonna hit 100k today. Its high is currently sitting at 99,888. Looking good for an all-time high very, very soon. I feel EURJPY is better for a long than USDJPY. I don't agree. EURJPY is extremely consolidative, and at the highs, you can see here, EURJPY is stuck in a massive range already since August. I wouldn't want to be trading this myself. It's very stuck. Yeah, David, sell GBP USD, man. No financial advice. So GU sell, EU sell. Sure, let's do it, man. Let's get in those sells. GJ, still some further upside. Yeah. Let's do some. Whoa. Let's do. All right, guys. Who's gonna be here on Tuesday? Let me ask it like that, because if we have a lot of votes for all of you who are gonna be here on Tuesday, then I'm gonna have something special. Make sure to vote here on the chat, because if you guys are gonna be here, or if you are gonna be here, then I'm gonna do something special for the Tuesday stream. Let's see how many votes we can get. I need some more votes, man, and we need at least 200 votes. All right, guys, fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna do something special for you guys on Tuesday. I'm gonna announce it on Tuesday. So be here on Tuesday for the New York session. Call me player, your USD's pumping, bro. Okay, let's have a look. How many pips? 5 pips. Oh, it's pumping, man. 8 pips up. Now I'm very scared. This is nothing, guys. This is nothing. Okay, good. Tuesday, guys. Big day. Make sure to be here Tuesday, 2:30 Central Eastern Time. There is going to be a massive happening here on the stream. Make sure to bring your brother, your mother, your sister, everybody who is a Forex trader. Make sure to bring them. We're going to have a very good day. Make sure to be there. And it's going to be at the same time as always on Tuesday. So yeah, I'm going to see you guys there. Thanks for joining again once today. I have something special prepared for you guys on Tuesday, so make sure to come and I'll see you guys there. Thanks for joining again. We went through pretty much all the pairs as always, and look forward to Tuesday. Thanks for joining, guys. Miss you already, and have an amazing Thursday afternoon and Friday. I'll see you guys in Discord. More updates are coming. Thanks, guys.